Okay, okay. All right, we're here. We're live. All right, another lesson, another day, another fun thing to learn. Always check to make sure the mic is on. See? Be smart, be proactive. You might have heard people say to you, hey, you got to have a brand. You got to understand your brand. You got to represent your brand. But what is a brand? How does it work? Well, in today's lesson, we are going to go over what is a brand and how do you design it. And as always, I'm Thomas J. Beleza. Please like, comment, and share this video to spread the knowledge with the world because we want to work together, grow together, and rise together. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel to learn more about how to be successful in your career, specifically the entertainment industry. Let's get right to it, shall we? And by the way, if you have questions, pop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. We got 5 little points we're going to bring out, and then we're going to go over some examples of what brand looks like, okay? Or at least establishing what your brand should be, okay? 1, where to begin? Believe it or not, never begin with a design, never begin with a logo, never begin with a color scheme. We're not there yet. How can we begin with something that we don't even know what it represents? Can't just throw it to the wind and be like, hey, it looks cool, let's use that. Because when you start understanding what your brand is and what it represents, it will ultimately dictate the design and style of what you're looking to go for. And that's why you start with yourself first. Take yourself and think about who you are, what matters to you, what you want to do with your company, what you want to do with your career, what you want to do with your life. That brings us to number 2. What is a brand, though? Once you discover all those things inside you, the things that matter to you, well, you got to understand your voice, image, and the conversation that the audience has with you. All right? But you say to yourself, well, Thomas, that's me. What is image, voice, and conversation? Well, let's break it down. Your voice represents 3 main things. And this is where a brand starts. This is the core value of a brand. It's everything that will dictate how we do things, why we do things, and where we do things. So a voice is made up of your missions, morals, and ideologies. Basically, your missions are what change or accomplishments would you like to achieve in your lifetime? If you have a company, if you're in a career, what are you trying to say? What is your goal with what you are doing? And by understanding what you want to achieve, that becomes your mission. And you can have missions if you're an actor, a musician, a writer, or a producer. And how does it work? Well, if you're an actor, maybe you want to work on films that elevate a particular story, elevate a particular mission of yours. Let's say you want to bring more awareness to the homeless. Like I use that all the time, right? So you do films about the homeless. Now, obviously, when you're starting out in the industry, you might not have that kind of control. And that's why we say you should have a financial foundation, 18 months, et cetera, et cetera. We talk about that in other budget videos. My point is, your mission dictates how and what and when you do things. So even as a writer, you might write stories that focus on a lot of the things you want to see change in the world. And they could be as simple as what you would like to accomplish, like, or what kind of change you would like to add to the world or to yourself or to the community that you're interested in. And a community could be like the actors community or whatever. Morals are behavior or code of conduct. When we understand our morals and our code of conduct, that's basically the way we want to present ourselves, our verbiage, our behavior per se. Um, if our morals represent being kind to people, that would be a moral. So our morals to be kind. So in your brand, it represents kindness. So if your mission is to help others and your morals is to be kind, well, you got to help others by being kind while doing it. And that would be an example of representing your brand, right? But then we get the ideologies. An ideology is a system of beliefs. Now, the simple version is that it's a religion, right? Like religions are a system of beliefs. But you have a system of beliefs. You have a way of living. The things that are important to you, the things you will do for people, won't do for people, how you'll respond to people that do right by you. These are your ideologies, your system of belief, things that move you and drive you. So that makes up a voice, okay? The voice is ultimately what you're trying to say. And once you know what you're trying to say, your image is the way the voice is represented, or more specifically, the way your missions, morals, and ideologies are represented. So if I'm in a band, and uh, my missions might be, I want to uh, oh, I got it. So maybe your mission could be something really big. It could be like you want to bring awareness. You want to shrink down how uh, uh, how extraordinarily vast the financial system is in the end. Just in general, like people don't know how the financial system works, and even though you're a band, you might even be a heavy metal band, right? You're a band, and you go, my mission is I want to simplify financial understanding. So that means when you're doing your music, your job is to eventually, or your purpose in your brand is like, how do we get involved with financial businesses? How do we eventually take the money we're earning and start fueling that into our communities and creating not-for-profits and stuff like that? The morals in which you do that maybe be you 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 might want to do it with compassion and understanding, kindness. So you represent that. But if your heavy metal band is just scary, right? That wouldn't fit your morals. So you have to take what's true to you, and then what's true to the performance, right? Because a band, believe it or not, is not necessarily you. The band is a brand itself. It's like, for example, when if for music, for me, I'm Lord Telmore Altanian, and I don't talk like this. I don't look like this. I dress a different way. I have a very deep voice, and I say ridiculous things that are supposed to be divine. But that's the point, is like, where do you step away? But what you're doing behind the scenes for that band should represent this too. But the band itself should also have a brand. We're talking about branding yourself first, okay? And then so the image is also just physically doing things, right? So if your ideology is that your system of belief is basically that um, you should be working together with people, right? So you got to do it with other bands, and that would be the example of you representing your image. Your image is just the truth in action. If you believe something, do it. If you believe in a certain morality, behave that way. If you have a system of beliefs, live by those beliefs, and that would be your image. All right? Conversation is what or how your audience is responding to your voice through your image. Basically, are they receptive to what it is your missions, morals, and ideologies are? Are they seeing what it is you represent? Are they seeing uh, everything that you say that you believe in? Are they seeing like, oh, this person is kind, or are they like, every time I work with that person, they're a douche, and you're like, all right, well, I'm definitely not representing my morals properly. So when you hear the conversation from your audience, you have to say to yourself, what am I doing that's not showing my truth in action? How do I adjust my behavior? But the other thing is, sometimes your audience is going to tell you things through the conversation that you might not notice about your brand. They might see something that stands out that you were not aware of. For example, I am associated with pizza now forever, but I didn't do that. The audience did. People would start saying, "Hey, hope you're enjoying a pie." I'm like, "Why am I eating pizza?" And they're like, "Oh, because you love pizza. We see you like pizza." But the conversation isn't necessarily that someone is sitting down with you going, "Hey, this is what I see and don't see." The conversation is just the way they're responding. McDonald's had this when they basically the audience was just like, McDonald's is disgusting, it's unhealthy, it's bad for you. That was what everyone was saying. That's what the jokes were about. That's how people were looking at it. And then McDonald's was like, hey, we're gonna take off the supersize. We're going to add a lot more healthy choices, etc., etc. So they were listening to the conversation, and they says, well, we want people to like us for what it is we are, and if they don't think we're healthy for you, let's make ourselves healthy, even though their salad has more calories than hamburger. Anyway, that's besides. Okay, so brand is made up of your voice, image, and conversation. Okay, so So what is a brand? A brand is your voice. It's your message, the things that are important to you, your missions, morals, and ideologies. A brand from the voice is the way we represent ourselves. And of course, the conversation is, are we representing ourselves properly? So basically, if you want to think about it over here, missions should be more than, this is very important, by the way. Your mission should have a goal. It should have a sense of accomplishment. It should be more than, I want to make money doing what I love. If your mission is to make money playing music, that is not a brand, that's a desire. Why? Because people cannot relate or connect to that mission. They cannot connect to you want to make money. Everybody wants to make money, but they can't relate to you wanting to make the money. But if you believe in bringing people together or helping a community of people, people can relate to that. They can connect to that. If your mission is, let's say you're a band and your mission is to, let's say, elevate the concepts of courage, right? So your songs, your lyrics, the way you represent yourself should show courage, or at least show yourself being in situations where you can be filled with courage, right? Um, and people could relate with that. They could go, "Oh, I relate with that." But if you were just like, "I want to make money," and then you're saying stuff, your mission is a lie. Now you're not being truthful. And if you're not being truthful, you can't be authentic and you can't be sincere, and people will see through that. The morals should represent the qualities of yourself and those around you. So basically, your morality, your morals are your character. What is the character of thyself and the character of those that I surround myself with? Because if you're surrounding yourself with people that don't fit your morals and your character, but in a way that is completely different, the sense of like, we have different ideas and different morals is one thing. But if you're somebody that believes in helping people and you're surrounded by people that just want to help themselves, you're in the wrong circle. Okay. Ideologies give you direction on where the line is and how to be there for you. Okay. And how to be true to yourself. So if you have a system of beliefs, an ideology to your brand, you know what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do. If you're an actor or an actress and your ideology is that my private life, my intimacy is for me, and my family, right? You don't want, you have that line. So if someone's like, "Hey, we're gonna do this film, we're gonna have, the character gets naked," you have to say, that doesn't work for me because it's not my ideology. There's this actor, I can't remember his name, but he was in Arrow on CW, and he was also on a couple other shows. I think West Wing. Uh, but anyway, he played one of the bad guys, and he was the magic guy, and he was very very fun actor. But he never ever kisses people on camera because of his belief system, and he believes he cannot kiss anyone other than his wife. He's actually gotten fired for that. However, you can't fire someone for that. So he was able to, rectify that. But he didn't go back to that job. But as an actor, that's his line. He says, "Nope, I cannot kiss that person. We could fake how I kiss him. We could use trick photography. You could get a stunt double, a kiss double, whatever. But that's something that's important. You have to stand by the things that are important to you." So there we go. That is what a brand is. And how you design it is ultimately what I'm saying is, you have to think about what's important to you as a mission. What are things you want to accomplish in your life? And these could change and or grow, and you could add to them as you develop. Like I've been doing this for over 20 years. There's things that I do now that I didn't think was something that I cared about back in the day. Your morals can always evolve, etc., etc. So how do you design it? You figure out what your missions, morals, and ideologies are. Then you think to yourself, how can I represent that in my image? What is my truth in action? What can I do? What kind of communities can I get involved in? How can I elevate the message that I'm interested in? And what is my physical representation, and how will I conduct myself? Okay. And then listen to the conversation. So let's go over some examples of what missions, morals, and ideologies would look like. Okay. So for me, for BBR and everything, one of our missions is, this is only one. Remember, you could have many, many, many missions. Okay. One of our missions is to help those starting or stuck after 5 to 10 years in the entertainment industry find their yes in life. And what that ultimately means is our goal is to educate people so they have the tools to decide if they're being taken advantage of by scams or we're breaking misconceptions. This is all about breaking misconceptions and giving people the information and informing people in any way. Like, for example, this is Free Avenue, right? I do free speaking engagements. I do whatever I can to help others be filled with knowledge so they can take chances in a way where they're in control. Because the more you know, the less likely you are to be taken advantage of. So that's our mission. A moral for me would be do right by others as you wish to be treated yourself. So ultimately, I also believe in that. You have to become the change you want to see in the world, right? So basically, I do right by people, right? This is also my sense of loyalty and honesty, right? Do right by others as you wish to be treated yourself. So for me, I treat people how I want to be treated, right? But I also have an ideology. I believe people should help one another without taking advantage of people. So what that means is I treat people right, but when they break the ideology, my line, and they take advantage of people, either their time or their wisdom or their kindness, and they blow up the boundaries, I know that I have to treat them the way that I want to be treated, which is if I am not being good or decent into the boundaries of my existence, I'm going to have to cut you out of the situation. So I'm very comfortable with saying goodbye, take care. I'm not going to talk to this person anymore. I may talk to them, but you have to have your boundaries where it's like I will talk to them cordially. I will be nice. Right? Be nice to everyone because you never know who someone is or who someone knows, right? So always just be nice, be cordial. But that doesn't mean is you have to help everyone. Like I believe we should help everyone, right? So I help people, but if that person or people mess up the ideology, which is I believe people should help one another without taking advantage of people, that's when I say to myself, if they are quote unquote being involved to help, but they are taking advantage of my time or other people's time, I know that I have to go, you are done. So that's how the brand works, right? So my mission is to inform people, educate people, help people, mentor people, and give them a chance to really find the yes in their life. Like, what is it they want to do? How do they do it? And how do they do it wisely, right? But on top of that, I'm going to take steps to always be true to myself by doing right by others as I wish to have done to me, right? So that's my standard of behavior. So basically, if I help someone with a project and I do it for a reduced rate or free, I give 130 to 2, 3, 400% of my time. I don't do less work quality. I don't do less quality for less pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I, if I ask somebody to help me, I want them to give me their all. So if someone asks me to help them, I give them my all. That's this moral. But the ideology is I believe people should help one another. So what do? Team Rise Together is a thing. Um, Beyond Team Rise Together, I do the free seminars. I do this channel, right? This is all people. I believe people should help one another. This is right, especially during the COVID pandemic, during the time when I film this, which is right now for the live, but it'll be old later. Um, you got to remember, you got to do what it is you believe. So this is an example of my image. My image is I believe people should help one another. This is me helping people. They listen or they don't listen. That's on them. But I am still doing right by others as I wish to be treated myself. I'm doing right, but I wish people would talk about the process and how to do things, right? Because that's the best way to help people. Instead of someone going, kid, if you want to be a great comedian, just write. Just keep writing and doing, do those open mic nights. That's not necessarily process. That's not necessarily helping them be a successful comedian. That's just helping them be very good at telling jokes on stage in front of other comedians with their heads down in their phone. So it's not really process advice. And this whole thing is just a mission of mine. It's a very important mission of mine. With that said, I would love you to tell me in the comments what are some of your missions, morals, and ideologies. Tell me in the comments what you feel are your life missions, what you would like to accomplish with your career or your dream career, as a performer in the entertainment industry or anything. What do you really want to accomplish in life beyond make money and a living within that field of interest, right? And some of your morals and ideologies. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. As always, please like, comment, and share this video because we want to spread the knowledge so people can understand that we are going to be the best version of ourselves when we work together, grow together, and rise together. And subscribe for future content for data and information on how to be successful in your career, especially in the entertainment industry. With that, oh, look at that, 20 minutes. We did a great lesson today, right? I like to do 10 to 20 minutes, right, man? All right, have a good day. See you next time. Good.